Let's watch Newsom change dramatically on the issue of Israel.
And others are talking about it appropriately, sort of an apartheid state. They couldn't even, I mean, we're talking about regime change. For 2 years, they haven't even been able to solve the Hamas question in Israel.
Do you think, looking down the road, that the United States should consider maybe, rethinking our military support for Israel?
It breaks my heart because the current leadership in Israel is walking us down that path where I don't think you have a choice but that consideration. I mean, to say this is in America's interest at a time when affordability is at crisis levels, where you had an administration who literally got elected saying this is exactly the opposite of what they would ever consider doing. The fact that we are in this now regional war, all these proxies, the fact that we, and all the grift and the corruption, it also marks a huge part of this. And that's a real conversation we need to have, this board of peace, and the peace that the Witkoff family is getting, and the peace that Kushner is getting, and the peace that Trump Jr. is getting.
This appears...
I'm going to get back on that new scum take because I have a lot of thoughts. It might come as no surprise to you, but I have a lot of fucking thoughts on this. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, the good and the bad. Number one, the good. The tide shift is here. The tide shift is here. It's not yesterday. It's not tomorrow. It's here right now. Why am I saying this? Because this man, for all of his faults and failures, is... has ambitions for higher office. He wants to be the president. And if someone is trying to become the president and is putting his ear to the ground and recognizing that fucking tide shift and changing his narrative around this fundamentally important issue, that means that we are winning. He knows how to read a poll, yes, but a lot of Democrats also know how to read a fucking poll, and yet they are still ginormous pussies when it comes to saying what the demands are of the large majorities of the public. I don't trust Gavin Newsom as far as like doing anything, and I mean anything that will even hurt Israel's interests, Israel's ambitions, and yet this clearly unprincipled Newsom is calling Israel an apartheid state that pushes it into war. All that shows is that you guys are dead, says Sammy Gold, responding to Roz Sauber. Newsom is gone full Mamdani. He says the United States is being pushed by Israel into a position where it may have to reconsider its military support. Oh my God. And now he's echoing the claim that Israel is an apartheid state. The Democratic Party is dead. No, the party that is dead is not the Democratic Party. I mean, the Democratic Party is dying. That's true. But not for this reason. Especially if the Democratic Party decides to nut up or shut the fuck up on the issue of Israel, the Democratic Party won't die, and maybe even democracy won't die. Because if we do not rid ourselves of the toxic and unfortunately incredibly pervasive influence of Israel in American politics, both on the domestic front, but also as the driver of our Middle Eastern policy, our foreign policy, we're fucking done. My goat, Tommy Vitor, brings up this question, the question of Israel. Let's take a look.
And felt like, you know what, we don't like the trajectory he's on. It's time to rethink the U.S. relationship with Israel, especially military support.
Well,
where do you stand?
Making that easy right now. Let's talk about that. But the issue of Bibi's interest.
Why the fuck does this video have like an AI bass boosted Andrew Tate vibe with its filter? Compare Newsom's action post 10-7 to the pastors. Oh yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about this when this motherfucker flew to Israel. Bruh. He said, I'm on my way to Israel. I'll be meeting with those impacted by those horrific terrorist attacks and offering California support. Motherfucker said, taxpayer dollars are going to pay for me to go to Israel. I'm going to hug and kiss the apartheid state. Also, we know what his previous take was on fucking Fortnite Friday.
Culture and traditions, and I believe in the notion of sovereignty, and I believe countries
I was with you,
govern themselves.
And then when I saw his appearance on the Note Boys podcast, it kind of opened my eyes to research a bit more. And now I think that potentially a one-state solution may be the only possible solution.
My goat. Basically, from Avi Shalim's brain to Connery's Pants' mouth. You know what I mean?
Well, we have a little bit of disagreement on that. I'm not falling. I'm not going to align with Bibi Netanyahu on that point of view.
No, I don't align with Bibi. I think that that's more of a
Bro's never heard of one state that is like a Palestinian first state. You know what I mean? He's like, what do you mean? You want Benjamin Netanyahu's design? Like the only time he's ever heard of one stater is like someone who is an ultra Zionist.
A Palestinian support solution, just getting equal rights and being able to live on where they live.
Yeah, well, I mean, with different approaches is to reach that same, at least as you've described it, that same perspective. But I've long believed in two-state solution, and I believe it's the appropriate and preferable path.
You think Jared Kushner is going to do a good job?
Come on, Jared Kushner.
Yeah, come on. He inhaled those Palisades fumes for you, and you mock his voice now? Yes. Newsom is a socialist now. If anti-Semitic nationalists on the right are aligning with anti-Semitic socialists on the left like Newsom, what does that make them? Bro, Gavin, I know you and I, Big Gav, listen, Big Gavy Gav, I'm talking to you and you only. Everybody else tune out. Everybody else tune out of the broadcast. This is just between me and Big Gav. Gruesome Governor Gavin Newsom. It's just you and me right now, baby. Listen to my voice. You want to make this pivot to the left? You know where to come, okay? You know where to come.
I'm going to come.
Come to me, Gavin. Come to me. Let's have a conversation. I am sincerely interested in seeing what you're about. You've been my governor for as long as I can remember. I've paid a lot of taxes in this fucking state, okay? I make a good amount of money here. I'm asking you not just as a tax-paying citizen, but as someone who wants to really understand where you're coming from. Now that you are pivoting as a radical visionary, singing the praises of Yahya Sinwar, I need to hear from you. I need to hear from you, Gav. The view count is going up. I told you guys to leave. You're still in here. You're coming in. You're tuning in. Now that you saw me talking personally, this is between me and Gavin. Gavin, come to the broadcast. You just did the Adam Friedland show. Many people call that the millennial Bill Maher. Come on the millennial Jon Stewart. Let's have a discussion. You're hanging out with the Pod Johns? I hang out with the Pod Johns. You hang out with Adam Friedland? I hang out with Adam Friedland. You hang out with the Lemonade Stand podcast? I will be hanging out with the Lemonade Stand podcast. I'm just saying, Gav, get on the team, baby. You hang out with Connor East Pants? I hang out with Connor East Pants.
He's got his own domestic issue. He's trying to stay out of jail. He's got an election coming up. He's potentially on the ropes. He's got folks, the hard line, that want to annex the West Bank. I mean, Freeman and others are talking about it appropriately, sort of an apartheid state. They couldn't even, we're talking about regime change. For 2 years, they haven't even been able to solve the Hamas question in Israel. So this is, I want to be careful here, but, in so many ways, that influence in the context of the conversation of where Trump ultimately landed on this is pretty damn self-evident. And so Rubio may have been saying something else in the context of what he ultimately said in terms of being sort of pulled into some of these things. But I will say this, it didn't surprise me in this context. I don't know if it was Napoleon or whoever said about a sword, the only thing you can't use a sword for is...
We used to be so close. I'm yearning. I have a real yearning in my heart for big Governor Gav.
Sitting on it. And when you bring 2 aircraft carriers out there and you assemble the kind of military force that Trump did over the last few weeks, it didn't surprise me ultimately that they moved that direction.
Do you think, looking down the road, that the United States should consider maybe, rethinking our military support for Israel?
It breaks my heart because the current leadership in Israel is walking us down that path where I don't think you have a choice but that consideration. To say this is in America's interest at a time when affordability is at crisis levels, where you had an administration who literally got elected saying this is exactly the opposite of what they would ever consider doing. The fact that we are in this now regional war, all these proxies, the fact that and all the grift and the corruption, that's also marks a huge part of this. And that's a real conversation we need to have, this board of peace, and the peace that the Witkoff family is getting, and the peace that Kushner is getting, and the peace that Trump Jr. is getting.
Yeah, he flips it back on a partisan. Basis. Was there any way for Gavin to come out against Israel at this point that wouldn't make him look like he's just spineless and flip flopping? No. Someone else getting the Hassan Abi treatment? New Jay Insider via Gabby Deutsch. Dude, it's so fucking funny. These guys are gonna write an article about every politician at this point. Okay. For the last 2.5 years, I was the #1 op. I'm feeling a little jelly beans right now. I'm feeling a little peanut butter and jealous. They haven't written about how I'm a fucking Hamas IRGC militant in like months now because they're so busy freaking out about fucking Gavin Newsom, dude. I'm washed. Unk fell off. It's so funny how hysterical Jewish Insider is and how much they need to consistently write these fucking hysterical articles. Like, on Thursday, Newsom will appear in Portsmouth, New Hampshire for a book interview with Jack Cochiarella, a self-described progressive political YouTuber who also frequently bashes Israel. Cochiarella said in a post on X promoting the event that they will be discussing Israel. Earlier this week, Cochiarella called Israel a terrorist state that threatens to kill Americans. Peanut butter and jealous, you couldn't even win Anti-Semite of the Year. Yeah, at this point, they're going to give it to Hillary Clinton for fucking saying something mean about Israel a little bit, that 99% of the population thinks is not hard enough. What is this? I got paid law. It's not $7K a post, but I definitely get paid for every Israel mention. Even the troll posts are paid. Yeah, we know that already. Azealia is fucking washed.